One of these days is an International Spoken Word Day.
Yeah. Is there International Spoken Word Day?
Yes, there is.
Yes.
When?
Is it 21st of March? Yeah, it's International Day of Poetry.
Okay, there we go.
Yes.
Poetry as a whole.
Yes, poetry as a whole. Because
Okay.
spoken word is a genre for poetry.
Okay.
Yes.
That is Wangui Kimani.
Yeah.
She is a spoken word artist. And she's an artist in many ways. In fact, even your fashion. Popping colors.
Yeah.
Very
Karibu sana.
Asante.
We're excited to have you. You're going to take us home on the show today into the weekend with some spoken word, you know. What do you call them? So these are poems. So what do you spoken?
Right.
Yeah.
That's actually a great
Spoken
So
word.
what do you
Poem.
call the thing?
Oh, it's spoken. It's a spoken word.
Yeah, it's spoken word.
You just call it.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a spoken word.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sour.
Don't overthink
You
it.
wanted a separate name for
Yeah,
it.
to
We're going to get a spoken word at some point in this show. But first, Janu has a spoken quote.
I have a spoken quote.
Okay.
I like that.
Michere Mugo was a Kenyan professor, playwright, activist. She was also a poet.
Yeah.
One of the things she said in 1994 is she said the most powerful weapon any woman can wield is her story because it cannot be taken away from her. You feel that?
Yeah.
Somebody's story.
And she said it before I was born, but but I mean, it's really beautiful because I feel sometimes people want to be other people, and people don't understand like how strong authenticity is. And the other day I was just talking about like how we crucify people wa kingoa, like when they kungoa, I don't know it in English, like that's the best way that I can say it.
Yeah.
If someone like maybe has an accent or
Mtu
something,
akishrub.
mtu akishrub, yeah, mtu instead ama Kikuyu instead of R na L, you know, nani confused. But the authenticity is something so, you know, yeah. So don't be ashamed of your story. Like that's the, you know,
Yeah, it's so
yeah.
funny. Conditioning is funny.
Yeah, it's that.
When someone says, "Could I get a bottle of water?" That's cool.
Yeah.
Like someone, I want a botro. Suddenly kuna shida.
But is it not changing?
Yeah.
I would hope it is. I think, I'm sorry, if you're watching or listening to this and you're still laughing at people who shrub, when do kona shida?
Manze.
And I know, you know, sometimes I say in my time, certainly I'm 90, but I do know there was a time
Yeah.
when, it's exactly what she said.
Yeah.
People would laugh. But I feel more and more now, actually, if you come there with your highness, isn't there like, you know what I mean? I hope there's a shift, that it doesn't matter how we say a word.
Yeah.
If you're
We should
literally-
actually stop calling it shrubbing.
Yeah.
Because that has a negative it's your
That's
accent.
true.
Yeah.
That is
It's
true.
your accent. It's the proof that there's another language you speak.
Yeah.
And another language.
And English is not my first language.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ika hivyo. Professor Wangari Maathai, the first woman to get a PhD in this country, never lost her accent.
Yeah.
She did not care about the frogs and the tadpoles.
Yeah.
She could put on a fire.
How could you? Can you
Just
do
like a
every
hummingbird.
accent?
He does every Kenyan accent. I wanted to ask you, Wangui.
Yes.
Sorry, that's really funny.
I have to go listen to that now after this.
The tadpoles.
The frogs and the
Refresh
tadpoles.
it.
What was was there a poem that made you say, man, that really spoke to you? The first
Yeah.
time that a poem or a spoken word really spoke to you. Do you remember that moment?
Mine?
Yours or any, like you were
That you heard
sitting,
or-
that you
Okay.
heard, you were listening and you're like, hey, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Do you remember that moment of something landing or reading, something that you read or saw that spoke to you?
I do. And funny thing, it was mine. And when I was starting poetry, I actually didn't know that I was doing activism, if I'm being honest. For me, I was writing, and since I was a kid, like I love asking questions shamelessly. Like, oh, you're the nini? Like I ask questions over and over again. And I remember one time I wrote an experience that I had as a person that I had ignored for the longest time. And performing it, everyone was like, wait, that happened to you? That happened to you? You know? And I was like, oh, wait. I actually shared a story that I have blocked for the longest time. Right. And this is actually something that has opened, you know, a conversation, and now people are more comfortable to tell me, oh, that happened to me as well. That happened to me as well. So, yeah, it's a particular poem that I wrote about. It's on the line of GBV, sexual assault and all that. And I was honestly not ready for the conversations that it would bring. Yeah.
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said you had, these are things you had repressed.
Yes.
But then you wrote.
Yes.
And they came out.
Yeah.
While you were writing, were you aware? Or is it almost like a separate state of, I don't know, being. And when you're writing and performing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Actually, people say when you're performing, it's like you're in another realm. It's like you're a Sasha Fierce, or you have like another,
alter ego.
Which is, honestly, for me, yes, I'm quite a different person on stage. And when I was writing, the goal was, yes, I was aware, but also it was more of journaling. Like, I just want to pour this out because it's... Exactly. It's extremely heavy, and I've also not been in a space where I could comfortably share. And I was also not ready to share. I was also not ready to share. So I was like, you know what? Let me journal. And then I journaled in form of a poet because I'm a poet. I journaled in form of a poem because I'm a poet. Yes.
So it's...
Were you always into poetry? Like, at what age did you start loving poems?
When I was a kid, I used to perform, but I was not writing. And then I'm a pastor's kid. My mom used to do this thing. Akienda kuhubiri. She used to call me in front of everyone and ananiambia waseme ile memory verse.
Memory.
Maugere kau. Just said that one memory verse. So, and then I used to enjoy translating the memory verses in just my own understanding. So after the memory verse, my mom will tell them what it means. And then I'll just give my own explanation. And I think that really built a lot of confidence for me. And then now when I got to high school, I could co-write with the people who are writing the poems so that we could go for the music festivals. Yeah, and then after high school, now I started writing my own poems.
I like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to moms, because my story is very similar with like this idea of public speaking. The minute my mom noticed I could be slightly good at this, any opportunity. We need someone to give a vote of thanks. It's not even a question. Endo be a vote of thanks.
No, again, wasema ile poem.
There you go. And it works, you know.
You're
here now.
I agree.
It worked.
Yeah.
But there's also the fact that when we think of poems and how we perform them, we think of it as almost theoretical. Poems are beautiful. Poems are lyrical.
Yeah.
Poems are, works
They
of
rhyme.
art. Yeah, they rhyme. But then it's your real life or your experiences or the people around you. Were you exposed to Kenyan reality when you started doing poetry? Like, were you reading poems that spoke of a Wangui and a Latif and a Janet and a Mariam, or it was just stuff from
Shakespearean.
Yes. It was that.
In the middle of a day. Going in a certain way.
Yeah, so actually when I started writing, sana I was writing Kiswahili and English, and then so I've been brought up partly in Nairobi and partly in Geshagi, or that to be specific. So sikuwa najua sheng ya watu, you get it? But then now when I came to Nairobi, at least nilikuwa najua a few sheng here and there. And then I think I'm also, like, I catch things like really fast. At some point, I think people actually thought I'm from East Lando. You're like, hey, you're sheng, adi mimi. Nilikuwa like, I'm tadi sure.
Yeah.
So for me, it was more of, me kizungu kidogo. Like, I can speak it, but I feel like when I'm performing, I really want to perform in something that really gives me the oomph.
Yeah. Perform in the language you think in.
Has it also, I mean, I know we've threaded a lot on World Mental Health Day today.
Yeah.
How has poetry, in a way, just helped you navigate whatever mental health issues you were dealing with? You've spoken that there was a heavy situation that happened to you. Does spoken word also, is it a form of therapy for you? And if so, how has it helped you just navigate this world? Because living this world as a woman has its interesting points. How has it helped you?
I agree. Yeah, so for me, writing in any form is more like journaling. So even when I'm writing down my pieces, it's also journaling. And the beauty of art is when people are consuming art, they're consuming it more as art and not as yon historia Wangui. So now it gives me a chance to really put out my stories there. And also, si ati ni amas niwaambia ati ni story yangu. It could be my story, but si lazima niwashow ati it's my story. But then it's a really good way of letting out. If you journal, like, you get it. Like, like kuandika tu, like, you remove things, unatoa tu inakutoka chokweli.
Unaongea inakutoka.
So it has become a form of that.
We don't think of it like when I'm consuming anything, if I'm listening to a poem, a piece of spoken word, a song, I'm watching a movie, I don't think that that's someone's story. I think of how it relates to me.
Yes.
You go immediately to yourself. It's like second nature, right?
Yeah, it could be. That's relatable.
That's relatable.
Yeah.
Or I hope that's me one day.
Yeah.
Or no, that's
Ama
so.
yoezi kuwa mimi. Could never be me.
Yeah, we're all caught up.
Hey, we need to really rethink it could never be me. Because wow.
The minute you say could never be me,
Me is there.
Me is
looking at you,
smiling in a corner. Is there anything in the last year of what we saw happening in the country that maybe made you you channeled it into your spoken word? We've seen young people's voices come out in a way that, like, it's like we've always known they're there.
Yeah.
But last year showed us that their voices are much stronger.
Yeah.
Is there anything that you saw happen during the protests after that made you think differently about your spoken word, or that you integrated into your spoken word?
So when I was coming here, so I passed through a route where nakumbuka, like during maandamano, vile your place, like there was so much tear gas, nikafeel kwa tumbo hua. I don't know what it's called again in English. And I was like, hey, like these memories, they never stop. Unaweza dhani like maybe they have gone, but they are still there. Yeah. So I actually did a project called Mwananchi Anthem. So it's actually the whole national anthem, but now I've put the voice of Mwananchi, where yeah, so let me just give like the first line of
I was about to say yes.
The first line of the national, you know, E Mungu nguvu zetu. So the piece says, E Mungu hatuna nguvu, mfukoni tumebaki tu na nguvu. Hizi baraka ulitaka ziletwe kwetu zinakuwa hijacked daily na hawa viongozi walisema. Leaders come from God. Then, yeah. So it's,
kidogo tu. You know, she might say, kama naendelea invoice ndio hii.
Sawa.
Ni sawa.
Nani natumia?
Tutachanga. Reach.
Just a bit more.
1 million ni kitu ya kukosa kweli? Surely.
I know that's on record.
Give us a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Kenny ndugu zetu. It's so sad wamelala forever. Life zao zilikatiwa short na hii mkono refu. Yani on the daily, all we are trying to do is put a meal on the table. Na nyinyi on the daily, all you are trying to do is alie chini, endelee kuwa chini, if possible 6 feet under, mnatukanyaga right on our necks. Officer, I can't breathe. Hewa nayo imejaa tear gas. Manze najaa gas nikiona mother analia juu mtoi wake hakurudi home. Na bado kwa hii national anthem natuambia na tujitoe kwa nguvu. Nguvu gani tena? Nguvu gani tena? Ingine ni after invoice.
Wow. Yeah, that's heavy.
Clock it.
Oh, I'm still catching up. I was like, it is now 18 minutes past 9. That's
Like, don't worry, it'll come.
I'll clock it.
Clock
And
it.
it comes, it will never leave.
No,
That's
but
heavy.
You see that putting the Mwananchi voice into the national anthem
Yeah.
is reading the room and the time and speaking the truth of what we're going through, which I think what art is meant to do, right? It mirrors society. Art mirrors. Art mirrors society, and the other way.
Life imitates art.
That's the one I was looking for. Life imitates art, and then art imitates life. When you think of the experiences that have shaped your poetry and your spoken word the most, are there specific? Is it like a 1-2, or it's everything that has led to Wangui here today? If there's those, you know, that aha moment or that shift moment. Was there one such? Okay.
I think it's definitely a bunch of things. Kujituma being part of it. Kujituma being part of it, like making sure that you are in these spaces and that people get to hear what you're doing.
Yes.
And for maybe this particular space that I'm in, I'm really also getting into the niche of using vernacular. Because when we say, especially with SDGs, have like a really nice quote where they say, we are leaving no one behind. Okay, then what exactly are we doing so that we don't leave no one behind? So for me as Wangui, what I'm doing is making sure that what I can do, which is people in my community, I can use spoken word and I can do it in Kikuyu. So yeah, that's my mtu anasemanga
What do
that's
you
my
call
contribution.
it in Kikuyu? Irefeta?
Actually, metako marefeta.
Irefeta is the poem in Kikuyu.
Yes.
Now, what's the spoken word in Kikuyu then?
I don't know.
Kiugo.
Kwaria Kiugo.
This guy.
But I love that. You know, she
Yeah.
just asked, what are you doing to make sure no one is left
Yeah.
behind?
Yeah.
Those are things we don't even think about.
Yeah.
What wanajua SDGs in their mother tongue? Ama washaisikia hata hiyo kitu kama hiyo?
No?
Aya.
Watu wanajua. Ni vile ati in the mother tongue.
Yeah.
Ni vile?
We shall have toilets. Tutakuwa na choo.
Wasichana wataenda shule.
Wasichana wataenda shule.
Yo.
We don't make it relatable.
We really don't. But I think that's beautiful, which is you interpreting things in mother tongue, then making sure that it's accessible to everybody. Kuna watu wanasemanga hizi vitu za like, you know, art na, again, that they are removed from reality, but that's what you live. How do you marry those two things? Because I know some people feel like art is an otherwise. Like wacha tutafute ya leo kwanza to figure out story ya food, rent.
Art ni kama recreation.
Yeah, maybe after.
It's a hobby, yeah.
After, when life is good, now
We
I
can be
listen
artists.
to art. Yeah.
So your question is?
How do you reconcile that some people just don't think of art as life, part of life, but they think of it as otherwise? It's when I've figured everything else out, now I'll have time.
Icing on the cake.
Yes, I'll have time to come and listen to Wangui.
To be honest, that doesn't bother me as much because I know if it's listening to me, like watu wangu tu wako hapo, that there are people who will definitely consume art. And for those who are not consuming art, I feel with time they will. Na pia si kila mtu wa consume art. Si a must. Si a must. So honestly, it doesn't bother me as much.
I like that.
Yeah.
Si lazima.
Si a must.
Yeah.
Not everybody is your TA. Not everybody has to listen.
It's not everyone who has a good taste. Yeah.
Wow.
Si kila mtu. So
she said,
yeah.
Period.
Si kila mtu.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kama uelewe hiyo ni yako. This is the confidence I'm taking with me this weekend. Ukikuja kwa post yangu ukisema Janet, you know, I'm like, you're not my audience. Not everybody has
a
good
good
taste.
taste. Yeah.
Not everybody has good taste. You are alongside Rachel. Is there something you're doing with women and poetry?
Yes.
I think there's something along finding like the first women's poetry society.
Yes.
I might be naming it wrong.
Yeah.
What is it that you're working on and why is it important?
Okay, so myself and Rachel, alias Spontaneous the Poet, we have co-founded an organization called Female Poets Kenya, and it's the first one ever in Kenya. We've not had an association where we are bringing together female poets, to be specific. So sometime back in 2022, we lost a poet to suicide, and I remember it hitting us so much that we really didn't have a community of female poets, and we got together with Spontaneous and we were like, you know what, like we really need to do something about this. It's not, we don't need to be finding each other only on stage. We need to have a space outside stage, outside this, whatever, Chanita poets, celebrities, but you know, outside this, being a star, being out there, we need to have a community where we can come together and talk to each other as now we've removed that sisi master sasa. Now we just need to talk as women, because I mean, you see, it's like a therapist as well. The fact that we are talking about people's issues and all that, it also affects our, you know, mental health and all that. So we decided to have this community so that at least it's beyond the
performances.
Yeah, it's beyond the performances, but also that's part of it. Napia, for me, when I was starting as a poet, I feel like there was quite a lot of gatekeeping, and now I really want to create a space for female poets where if you're struggling with maybe a red card, you can call me and ask me, Wangui, how much should I charge for this? You know, na mi sitaki kukulia hiyo pesa yako. Like, go get your bag, go get that money. So we also like really want to create that easiness for female poets.
That's really
What
important.
does gatekeeping look like? In poetry. 'Cause I'm like, I would think of all the places, this is where we would, you know, just collab organically and help push each other forward. What does gatekeeping look like?
It would look like, so let's say you would, maybe you want to be part of maybe a certain organization, and you know maybe the best person to reach out to is Wangui, and then you reach out to me and I'm like, no, maybe I don't have it's just like ni kama tu kublock mse, like you're really not helping them. You get it?
Or maybe I want to work with NTV. I've seen you with Mariam. Can you give me her number?
No.
Nilipoteza simu. Things like that.
Yeah, and also around rates. Yeah, and also around rates and money and all that, because like poetry is an industry that is growing.
Yes.
So yeah, it's really important to just help people who are coming up with the rates. Ndo pia asiende ati ana charge sijui watu ati 5k. Like you get it. Like just tell them, your work is amazing. Actually, we're charged heavy. You get it. So that as well. I wish I really got that when I was
when you were starting out.
Nilipewa exposure.
What's to be thread hapo? How do you charge for something that is intangible? And I know everybody struggles with this for any service, right? But yes, because you can't say, oh, ilitengenezwa na this material, that's 300. Alafu the lid was another 200. So nikiongeza markup yangu nitauza 800. Okay. What's the version of that for spoken word?
First things first, your brand as a person. Like, how do you show up? Right. You get it? And that includes how you show up, how you look, how you present yourself as a person. I also look at the aspect of how do you perform? Are you also like a diverse person? When you are on stage, are people like really, do you involve the people in your performances? Also how you write, you know? Also how you write. We also go to the point of looking at the organizations that you have worked with. If you have worked with quite a couple of organizations, then rate card ikue uko, you know? It's just a bunch of
all of those things
those things put together.
You know the way, like, if you're shopping for a painting, you're at a gallery, there's no explanation. The number is there. It costs what it costs. Of course, if someone is a more famous painter, but essentially you can put any number and decide it's worth this much.
Yes.
So I don't know.
And it's also
where to start with.
Where to start? I'm just saying it also begins to profile the industry and space as something respectable.
Yes.
Because people have art. Even if you speak to musicians, it's taken a while, even influencers, it's taken a while for people to say, this is my craft.
Yes.
And this is what it costs, and people to respect that. It's been a journey, but it's great because I haven't heard of that in the poetry space, which is interesting that actually we do need a community that helps negotiate, helps me know how to show up for myself. Does it also extend to, I wonder whether there's been a situation where you've been on stage but haven't felt safe. For whatever reason, that space, safe spaces can also be what to do, hawakuelewi. So my first question is, what kept you standing and how did you navigate it? And two, whether there's also been issues around women in this space maybe not feeling safe, whatever that means. So let's start with, have you had to perform and keep going, even when you're in a room where you're just like, don't really feel these people, and what kept you going?
Oh, wow.
Did you keep going?
Did you keep going? By the way, did you?
Peace out.
That's really interesting. To be honest, I can't think of a space where I performed and felt maybe some type of way. I have not experienced that as a person, because I feel like maybe the things that will make people feel uncomfortable are maybe the audience is really not relating to what you are performing. It could be maybe the audience also don't like your outfit, which doesn't bother me, even though I'm wearing a miniskirt, like, where we angalia too, you know? And also this has taken me like some time to be really comfortable with such things. Like, I have been in a space where like I'm now utadu, you know, like there's nothing much that you can do. So I don't remember being in a space where I was uncomfortable. Maybe like just getting extremely emotional because I'm really relating to this kind of a topic, like to the point of like almost breaking down. I have been in quite a bunch of those.
You've experienced those.
Sorry, but there's like Wangui and her people, and they know her. If she's at Nation today, they will be there, or they'll be online streaming. And then there's the gig that comes, and the people just don't get it. They just don't get it.
They are new to this thing.
They are new to this
The
thing.
person who organized and invited you understands, but the audience, like,
How do you, now that navigating that, because them they're not coming from Ubaya.
It's not negative, it's just-
I get
Our
it.
Jewy.
Yeah.
bado test yao haijafika hapo.
I have been in such spaces, to
Yeah.
be honest, and it happens mostly with corporates.
Yeah.
They are so serious.
I've seen it before. I've seen it before. That's why I'm just like, I don't know how, as an artist, you deal with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, and you give your best, you're performing from your heart, but what to do? Nasie kobaya hawako, they're just not there.
Again, it's mostly corporate. Mostly corporate audiences are like extremely serious. But I feel I'm so good at performing and I'm so good at involving people.
Right.
Like I've been in spaces where I see. Actually, my recent performance was just the other day, was a corporate setup. And I remember most of the people were white. And I could definitely throw some Swahili words here and there to just say if I have Kenyans in the house. And when I just throw a Swahili word, and then, or maybe a methali, haba na haba, and then I hear hujaza kibaba, I'm like, oh, at least I have some Kenyans in the house. And now it becomes like a joke. So I also like really throw in some humor here and there. I think I've also told an audience, like, be a better audience. Yes.
Love that.
Yes, I have.
Love that.
I
Yeah.
hope you did it and then dropped the mic and
How so?
be a better
How so?
audience.
It's just when you are like maybe telling them to repeat something and then they don't repeat and you're like, come on, be a better audience. Not like be a better audience. Like, come on, be a better audience.
so they're like,
and then they giggle and then they're like, okay. And then I'm like, now let's repeat what I was saying.
Okay. Haba na haba? Okay.
Yeah.
You know, just threading on the same one, there are very many people who don't understand spoken word.
Yeah.
Okay. Even poetry. So we are used to these things where there's a comedian, we'll laugh, we'll crack a joke about Kenyan communities, we'll laugh. And so sometimes we are like, it's too much. We are used to this thing.
Yeah.
Your trade is new to many people. What do you do to introduce that trade to more people? Because you know, what you're doing as well is creating new audiences.
Yeah.
Much as many people don't have the taste, you're an acquired taste. Okay. So what do you do to make people start understanding this is who you are? Do you like before you perform, do you seek to understand who's the audience, who's going to be there, what's their character like? So you see, this is a corporate, very old people. So these ones definitely have absolutely no clue what I'm going to be doing there. So how do I approach them? How do I deal with them?
Yeah, first, that's really important to also like really know your audience. Jua unongelesha nani. If you go with like so much English and your audience is wase wanapenda sheng, ama wase wa mtaani wako like, hey, wewe, drop your kizungu mingi, you get it. If you also like go with so much sheng and the audience is like extremely corporate, they're like, what the ghetto, you know? So that aspect is really important. And also like what else I'm doing to like really make sure I'm introducing my craft to like different people. Social media, post on TikTok, post everywhere. Let people know what you are doing. So yeah, and also like I yap a lot about it. I keep telling people this is what I do. I invite them for shows. So yeah, and tell people come with a friend. Yeah.
I wanted to go into the activism part of it.
Yeah.
We touched kidogo on Mandamano and you coming by today and just kafilka, you know, something in your stomach.
Yeah.
How much has your work gotten more political over time? Has it?
I think it does get political.
Yeah.
It does get political even though you avoid it. And just like maybe out of context, like I have found myself watching news like all the time. Like I really want to understand what's happening in the country.
Yes. That's all of us. We used to make fun of our parents for watching the news. Now you're there at the TV like this. Just
Yes.
switching from station to station.
Yeah.
I find myself like watching a lot of that. Like I really want to get like what exactly are they saying? What are the policies and all that? And also like for the art that I'm doing, it's advocacy, yes. And even though I might want to avoid the political side of it, if I want to talk about women, there's still the aspect of policies. And and that gets political, you know.
Life is political.
Yeah, so yes, it does get political. I find myself like really just going back to it. And all these things are
They're linked.
connected.
Yes.
Yeah, they're linked.
Okay, I think that's really powerful and important.
Yeah.
And, you know, people used to say, I don't do politics. It was a privilege, first of all, if you don't do politics. Now, if you don't, people are like, where do you live? Unatoka wapi wewe?
Hata inakufuata tu.
Inakufuata tu, whether or not you like it.
After you run, there's
You
nowhere
run,
to run.
you will find it.
Yeah.
Is it also important that spoken word sparks action, or is that a secondary thought for you? In the sense of, would you hope that the words you speak or other people in the spoken word community, that's something that they say could spark action? Is that important to you as well?
Extremely. Because, I mean, you just don't want to speak and speak and speak and speak, you know? You want to provoke, yes. You want to ask the questions. But also you want to get to a point where we are getting solutions, or something is being done, or people are taking action. So yeah, that's extremely important. Yeah.
Has there been a spoken word that you've done that has led you to have conversations beyond that? Maybe there's something you talked about on women or patriarchy or gender-based violence, and as a result, you found yourself having conversations either in groups, etc. Has that ever happened?
I think quite a bunch. I can mention two. So one of them is around food sovereignty and climate change and all those stories. So for me, when I'm doing my spoken word, I like humanizing them. So most of the times I use stories that I relate to, or it's easier for also the people around to relate to. So on that particular one, I ask people this question: what do you enjoy eating the most? And then people will say chicken, managu, terere, and all those other things. And then I ask you, or has anyone said they enjoy eating plastics? And then no one raises their hand. And then I'm like, what makes you think after eating your fries when you drop your plastic that the land enjoys eating that? It will choke as well, you know? So that one, I know it has driven conversations over and over and over and over and over again. And I just tell people, actually when we're just having the Mazingira conversation, like, we all don't have to plant trees, you know? Could just take the initiative of, if you see someone dropping a paper down, be shameless enough to tell them, kwa nini unafanya hivyo? Would you eat that plastic if someone handed it over to you, like, enjoy your lunch? Unaweza feel aje, you know? So that, and also gender-based violence. That's a conversation that I've also like really had over and over again, to a point. I have a project called Beneath Her Veil that talks about, you know, the things that happen beneath the veil. And yeah, I've had so many conversations with that one. It's a poetry mini documentary that I've also done festivals with it in and outside Kenya. So yeah, it's a conversation that we have had like over and over
That's
again.
powerful. It shows you that spoken word can also be a conversation starter.
Yes.
You know, it takes you deeper into the issue. So Wangui will put it out there as art, but then, yeah, I've never thought of the earth being like, mbona unanipea hii plastic? Like, what business do you have giving this to me? I think that's a very powerful thing to keep in mind. Is even Mother Nature can't speak, but if she's been speaking loudly lately.
To me,
she doesn't use the words we use.
If we're not receiving them, we're the ones not listening. If at this point we're not receiving the message, nisisi tukona shida. I wanted to know money versus the cause, in the sense that someone can see Wangui and see her work and be like, wow, you are such a champion for women and girls. You know, as we celebrate International Day of the Girl Child, come be my mouthpiece. And then at some point you're like, you look at what you're meant to communicate, and it doesn't marry with your ethics or your values or even how you think the world should operate. Where do you draw the line?
I'm so excited that you asked that question. I'm like, Madam Speaker, sir. Thank you for your question. To be honest, like, that's a really beautiful question. I have been intentionally practicing integrity, like, and I keep asking myself, if someone, like, what's the price? You know,
what's my price?
Yeah, like, what's my price? If someone brought something that I really don't advocate for this, but the money is good, will I still take it? And for me, integrity comes like even in the small bits. And the other day I was just having a conversation with someone that I work with when I'm performing, and I was like, you know, sometimes when I'm given a contract, it's me who has the contract, and I know the money that I'm being paid. But then again, if I could ask maybe a guitarist, like, what's your rate card? Like, how much do you want me to pay you? And then maybe I tell them, I don't have that money, and I have it. You get it?
Yes.
So I'm really teaching myself
That's
that
small integrity or small
you get
lack
it.
of.
Yeah, like those small ones. Because I feel these are the ones that lead up to now you confidently say, no, I know the money is good, but my values, like, really, I want to be in that space. I think I have been in it for quite some time.
Right.
But now, you see, the more my career is getting bigger, I really don't know the challenges that are ahead of me, but I really want to stand on integrity.
I like that.
Yeah.
And it's a muscle. I think you're already on the right path because, like you've said, if you're not able to do the small things like
Yes.
pay someone fairly,
Yes.
then there's no way when the big deal comes suddenly you
Yeah.
become very clever. It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So I think it's a muscle that strengthens over time. So the fact that you're intentional about doing it now means as you grow, the muscle gets stronger as well.
I think a lot of people are being forced to grow that muscle because I feel like audiences, I don't want to give a blanket, but especially younger audiences really hold you to account. So before it would be A1 to just go for the money, people understood. It's harder now. Globally, public figures are facing all the proper backlash where they're even having to turn down something that would be millions because they're like, I will eat these millions, I will lose those millions of people who will rely on me. So,
but I'm curious on this, like, for them, are they afraid of the accountability, or is it that they stand for this thing, you know?
Do they mean it?
Do they?
Or are they just
Yeah.
afraid?
are
Or
they
are
just
they
trying to
afraid
pressure?
of potential loss of future business?
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to get cancelled. Not that.
That's true.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
not that
that's-
I believe this thing is wrong.
Yeah.
It's I don't want to get cancelled.
It's usually I don't want to get cancelled.
Maybe it's just a pragmatic business decision, right? So maybe I don't have a strong opinion on either of these things. I could have done it, not because I really have an opinion on it, but I realize that people have a very strong opinion on it. So I respect your opinion.
I respect your strong
I
opinion.
respect your strong opinion, and therefore now I just come to your side.
Okay.
But you should also think, why are you forcing somebody to go with your opinion?
I agree.
Fair.
I agree. Maybe people are looking, well, people say there is like two sides of the coin, yes. But what if, like, for me, let me use, like, it could be, advocate for something, but you don't advocate for it.
Yeah.
So, kwa nini nisichukue hii deal and advocate for this thing?
You stand for it, yeah?
Yeah, wewe utakuja tu na opinion yako useme, you know what, maybe this is not good, but it's not good for you, but it's good for me.
Yeah.
And now
It's true.
It's a really thin line.
Mariam
is-
starts changing her opinion of you because
you took
you
the deal.
disagree on that particular one opinion on something.
And that's okay.
It
You have
is
to have
okay.
really strong resolve.
Yeah.
Yo,
You have to know.
That's a hard thing to say. Kana
one?
pesa yako.
Ati kana pesa yako. In this economy, it's hard. You're like, kana pesa yako, and then under like, skiza.
Checky.
Checky, please. As we look at Day of the Girl tomorrow, is there a line in one of your poems that you'd want girls to resonate with? Is there something where you didn't know that you're writing it for girls? Oops, as my mic drops.
It's a
my
mic drop
earpiece.
moment.
Mic drop moment. Boom. Is there one of the words or lines in your spoken word that you feel, I really wish more girls or women could hear this? What line would that be?
What line could it be? I remember when I was starting poetry, there's a piece that I wrote that was saying misunderstood. And it's just the whole aspect of, like, people having their own opinions and all that, or people, it's basically people having their own opinions, but they don't matter. They don't matter, honestly. So the society might be looking maybe looking at you in a, maybe this way, and for you are looking at yourself like this way or whatever. So it's along the line of, like, misunderstood. People might misunderstand you, but honestly, like, where is she to my shako? Yeah.
Do you?
So, hey, women and girls, man, that one needs to be drilled down.
Yeah.
Because but it's life, to be honest, and it's everybody.
Yeah.
They'll have an opinion. Damned if you do,
Damned
if you
damned
don't.
if you don't.
Yeah.
As we get closer to the end of the conversation, I wanted to know what growth in this industry looks like for you, and also now from a structural perspective. So when Wangui thinks what she wants to do, in the next 5-10 years, as far as her work is concerned, what does that look like? And then how do we strengthen and grow the industry as fans, as consumers of the art, as government, and then as artists as well?
Okay, retirement plan.
There you go.
So for me, let me just say, I'll start for me as an artist. For me as Wangui, so what I'm doing right now is like I'm really, the vernacular bit of it, I feel like it's really
in a donjo.
in a come through. And also it's there, yes, but in spoken word, I feel like it's a little bit untapped. Not so many people are performing in their vernacular. And I was just looking at Ngugi wa Thiong'o and what he has done with vernacular and all that. And that's a route I would like to take. Like I would want to be in a space where I'm teaching more people to write in vernacular and perform in vernacular, my vernacular, but also I would want to encourage other people who speak other languages to also like really get into the space of speaking their vernacular and teaching other people around vernacular.
Love that.
Yes.
That is so important. That's amazing.
Yeah.
I think it's been underrated, and people I feel like are craving that piece of home in everything they do. Do you also see this as a tool? I'm thinking about the voter registration season. I'm thinking about us heading towards elections. Is there a consideration to be like, maybe we also need to talk about, or mainstream, asking young people to register to vote? Is that something you're considering? You're like, maybe somebody else can do that. I'll do me. Yeah.
That's something that I'm comfortable doing, because I mean, as Wangui, I really want change in this country. And I mean, this change is definitely a process. And among the processes that we have is like people going out to vote. So I know one of these days most of my Kikuyu pieces, I post them on my TikTok. So I know I'll definitely create something around that, just telling people to go out there and take their voter registration. Yeah.
Oh, and now to the second part of the earlier question, which was, now, structures. How do we build the industry? Well, it's arts all around, but now specifically spoken word. Because I don't know if it's in the government's radar, to be honest. Sijui kama wanajua. Okay. It's not. It's just like, it's not.
It's not. And now that's where we come in as Female Poets Kenya, building this, having structures, building associations together, because it's easier for, I think mostly government, they say it's easier for them to come to people when they are in groups and they have structures and everything in between. And it's also it will be easier for us to also like reach to other organizations. And also, do you know that spoken word is now in the curriculum? Yeah, it is. Yes, in the music festival, they are now performing spoken word
specifically.
Yes, like spoken word. So also that's a really beautiful step, and I'm looking forward to. I actually have a certificate in poetry data development, so I'm looking forward to also train other people so that we can go and storm these schools.
Yes.
So the government knows about spoken word. How many members do you have in Female Poets Kenya?
So far, we have 100 in 8 counties.
Wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes. We are looking to expand.
It's a good thing.
Yes.
The first question that Jano asked you was that moment when you felt, spoken word speaking to you, and you said, yes, my own.
Yeah.
Can you speak to us? Can it speak to us?
I like that. Smooth.
Cindy?
See what you did there.
There's one way going into character.
Yeah. Ni saa 3 mchana. Nimepanda matatu, nimekava my tattoos. I feel safe. But that's not the case. Niko almost kuwa na kesi na huyu conductor. Anataka, ananitaka, nikikataa. Ananiita takataka. Where I come from, they say nights are not safe for women. But I have experienced dark things in daylight. Where I come from, they say men protect women. But the things these men have done to me and women that I know I can't say in day broad light. Where I come from, I don't feel safe around men. Arumea matwekete ta nyamu. Nyamushia githaka. ate ginya mutimia ndangitiga ciana ciake cia kairetu mucii na maithe mao. See where I come from. I can't stand sitting next to a man, knowing that I can't stand for myself when this man make my knees weak. When he tries to hold my thighs and all I can do is freeze. Don't these men see? Don't they see the fear in our eyes? And you still have the audacity to tell me that someone was assaulted because of their dress code, then make me understand. Our Muslim sisters cover each inch of their body and each tell the same story, you know? So where I come from, I hope that we will speak more, and I hope that we will hold each other accountable. You ain't getting any after invoice.
Wow. Is it titled Where I Come From?
Actually, no, it has no title.
Oh, it has no title.
No title.
It's very powerful.
Yeah.
The Where I Come From, like my perspective, my story.
Yeah.
Oof, that's
Where
profound.
I come from.
Yeah.
And the sad thing about that is that women everywhere in the world will relate to that,
Yeah.
regardless of
Yeah.
where they come from.
Mm-hmm.
That is beautiful. I can see how that was stirred like that feeling in you.
Yeah.
And I feel like we're marking International Day of the Girl Child today. I mean, tomorrow, actually. When you think of Wangui the girl versus Wangui the woman, what's the biggest growth you've seen within her? And what do you hope for future Wangui?
Okay. For the growth, I feel it's, you know, the intentionality of living life. Like, I'm now really not afraid of living life. I'm not afraid of what people think. I think this has really been a beautiful space for me. I tell people I really love being an adult because the intentionality of like living life, you know, and the fact that I can now question things. I didn't like being a child so much. Like, I didn't enjoy going to church. Like, and now the fact that I can just say, maybe I now understand like why I didn't enjoy going to church. The fact that I had to go to church every day. I can now, like, I can create a life of my own, you know? Funny thing, I didn't like running when I was growing up, but like now I run a lot.
Yeah.
You know, like building a life of my own and just looking at like how I'm, or like what I wish for the future Wangui. It's continue living life more intentionally. Yeah.
I love that.
Oof, the Kikombe is saying, nimepanda matatu, nimecover my tattoos.
Yeah.
Hope we will speak more and hold each other accountable. So, anakupea flowers.
Thank
So
you.
is Smiley Tears. Big up to Wangui, best female poet I know.
Thank you.
Tabitha Njoroge is saying, shut it down. Shut
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Oh man, this is beautiful. I think it's been amazing having this conversation with you. We've threaded through a lot of our conversations today around mental health, trauma. We've talked about the International Day of the Girl Child as well. We're thinking through your parting shot, just as we close the show. Message for all the girlies out there, and then we say goodbye. All the girls.
You know, the girlies.
All the galleys. Short and sweet, a message to all the girls, like, live life, don't be afraid, kindly be a little bit more shameless. Yeah, don't be afraid.
Love that.
Yes.
Live without shame, my guys.
Yeah.
Hey, but there's a quote. Jano, have we done it? About when women are devoid of shame, how powerful we can be.
They are.
Yeah.
Oof.
It's so
Yeah.
powerful. A massive thank you. Thank you so much, Wangui.
Thank you as well.
She's a spoken word artist, an amazing, amazing human being, and just a world of color, honestly.
Fashionista.
10 over 10. It's been amazing having you.
Yeah.
Of course, a big thank you to Monica as well, and to Anjiro. Leo have conversations 10 over 10. And a happy Mazingira Day. Tunapanda miti, my guys.
Sindio.
Okay.
Si lazima iwe leo, like jana.
I was just going to say. Smooth sign, very smooth.
Okay. Si lazima ikuwe leo.
Yeah.
In Rwanda, they do compulsory. No, that's cleaning. They
Cleaning.
do compulsory cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay,
We
sawa.
could learn a thing or two.
We
also
really could.
about that. Yeah.
But plant a fruit tree, like our WhatsApp
Yes.
Nation fixer said, ukimaliza hiyo matunda, just throw it somewhere where it can germinate.
Let nature do its thing.
Let nature do its thing.
Yeah.
We're done for today, but we'll be back here Monday, 6 to 10 a.m. Of course, for another week. We'll have great conversations as per usual. Keep the conversation going on. #FixingTheNationNTV. And we'll be more than happy to engage with you guys. Namtutumia WhatsApp Nation. Have a fantastic weekend and a happy